And I chose AI because to me, that was the most interesting subject. Actually, the story is a little bit more complicated than that. So I initially applied for Internet and Web Technology. And the reason is that I did the Internet and Web Technology final course at University of Bologna. And that's actually where I started to use Ruby. And that's where I fell in love with Ruby. And
Really
yeah, so Ruby
interesting.
was not the language that we should have used, right? It was actually PHP. But I was on Hacker News all the time, and I was seeing how Ruby and Rails, they were the hottest shit on the planet. And I decided that we should use that. I actually we had a team of 4, and the other 3 people, they all knew PHP. And I actually convinced them to use Ruby instead. I didn't know much PHP, right? So I just knew a little bit through Drupal before and a little bit through the course, but they were actually using it a lot more. But I managed to convince him, and we did this project and we had so much fun. And it was like Rails 2.3.2 or something like this. I know because I checked recently, actually. And it was Ruby 1.9. And it was such a pleasure to work with that I completely fell in love with it. Like the rest of the programming languages, even thus far, they didn't give me that feeling. I programmed a little bit in Bash, in Python, in Java in school, in Scheme, which is kind of a Lisp thing, in a Lisp dialect. The joy that Ruby gave me was so much better than anything else, right? It felt like finally somebody understood aesthetics and they put it inside programs that you can almost read like it is English. So I fell in love with that. But then I decided when I moved to Amsterdam, because I did apply for Internet of Technology, that there was something else that was also really interesting. And maybe that was my chance to really grasp it by doing a course, which was, or an entire master track in AI, was AI, I think, one of the coolest things already in 2011, right? Because I heard about deep learning at the time, and I started to look more and more into it, and it sounded super cool. So I did apply for that, got in, and then since then, I studied AI, did my master's in that, and then I was a data scientist for many, many years until 2021, when I then founded my first startup, which you mentioned, Freshflow. And then in 2024, I started to work on something new, which is what I'm working on right now.